What's good, YouTube? Akil here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be sharing some sales from this past week. And my sales are not as strong as they were like last month, but that's definitely my fault, only because I haven't been listing as much as I should have been. Well, last month and just for about the last 6 weeks, I was doing a ton of listing, just about maybe 20 to 25 listings every day. And after a while I started slacking. Not to say I started slacking in terms of my my sourcing, definitely still been getting a ton of stuff, but I just haven't been listing as much. So from now until the end of the month, my goal is to get up at least 20 to 25 listings every single day. And then this weekend I'm going to try to get up at least 50 on Saturday and Sunday, just to kind of give my store a little boost and kind of close out the month with a bang. So if you guys haven't already, make sure that you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so I got my phone out, and first sale I want to share with you guys, gonna start this off with a bang because this one actually just sold a couple days ago. This is a pair of Nike Shox Plus, and I tell you guys all the time I love picking up Nike Shox. I think this was also featured in a previous trip to the thrift. Didn't spend too much money on these, probably like maybe 10 or 12 bucks on these. Really good price for these, and these sold for 110 with free shipping. I was gonna just price them as 100 bucks and then charge $9 shipping, but I just wanted to make sure that I was gonna save that money on fees, so I just said 109 with free shipping, and it sold the very next day. So I probably listed this a little too cheap, or maybe the right buyer was just looking for these. They probably had Nike Shox Plus saved in their eBay search, and as soon as this one popped up, they just took full advantage of it. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I'm just glad that it sold as quickly as it did, and I shipped this out in a padded flat rate envelope. Next up, we got this RS Touch Tone wireless modem, and I love selling any of these types of routers and these modems. I usually sell these modems for at least 40 to 50 bucks, and this one sold for $44.99 plus $9 shipping. And this was also a part of kind of like that Father's Day sale that I had running. I was actually supposed to end that sale on Sunday, but the thing is, if you don't pay close attention to that eBay calendar, you might have your sale running for an entire year. So for me, I actually had that sale running a little longer than I wanted. I think it ended on Tuesday, only because I realized that I was making sales and some of those things were selling for like very random prices. So I definitely had to go ahead and fix that. Like I said, this one sold for 45 bucks plus $9 shipping, so very good deal for me. Next up, we got those O'Neill motocross pants, and I think I spent 12 bucks on these pants. I spent a little more than I usually would like to, but I knew that these pants would sell relatively quickly, only because now is the season when a ton of people are looking for motocross pants and stuff like that. And this one sold for 40 bucks plus $8 shipping. Like I said, spends a little more, but it sold within about 2 weeks, so really quick sale for me. Next up is something that's been sitting in my inventory for well over a year. I picked these up from Ross when Ross just opened back up. I think this was maybe in May or April when I actually picked these up, so they've been sitting for a really long time. Finally sold with that additional 10% off for $62.99 plus $9 shipping, and these shoes were a size 17. So I try not to pick up shoes that big because they usually do take a really long time to sell. And I think I just priced these very high in the very beginning. I priced them for like 100 plus because that's what the comps were saying. But like I said, size 17 is kind of random, kind of rare, so it ended up selling for way less than I expected. And I think I spent only like 22 bucks on these, so made a decent amount of profit, but they took so long to sell that it doesn't even matter anymore. Next up, we got one of these older PlayStation 2s. This is the PlayStation 2 Slim in that ceramic white color, and this one was working just fine, but the eject button was kind of sticky. And I checked some YouTube videos where some people were actually opening up the console and just cleaning off the eject button, but I didn't want to go through all of that hassle, so I just listed it as is, and I made sure that I put just little things within the title and the description to let the buyer know exactly what they were getting. And it sold for 107 bucks with free shipping as well. I was initially asking 119, but of course I was running at 10% off sale, and it finally did sell. I actually was trying to sell this on OfferUp, but I had it on OfferUp for like maybe 4 months, and I kind of didn't want to sell it on eBay because I knew it had that little eject button flaw. But I just went ahead and I listed it, so hopefully there's no returns, or hopefully there's no scam stuff going on, because I know some buyers are kind of sketchy out there. But it is what it is. Hopefully this buyer is happy, and like I said, they might even open it up, clean off that eject button, and sell it for more, because I know these PS2 Slims sell for a little more profit, but since it did have a flaw, I just kept that in mind. Next up, we got a set of Bose computer speakers, and these were actually the speakers that I was going to keep for my desktop setup, but I went ahead and I ended up selling these because I found a set of black Bose speakers, so I'm keeping those. That kind of matches my aesthetic a little more. And this one sold for 50 bucks with free shipping. I've seen a lot of people selling these for, some people even selling these for like 20 bucks, 25 bucks, and free shipping on top of that as well. But I definitely always try to price my stuff on the higher end, even if I'm offering free shipping. And the thing with these, anytime I find them, they usually always miss the power supply, so I usually always have to add in like some type of replacement power supply. So definitely keep that in mind. I just always try to tell the buyer that it's definitely not the genuine AC power supply, but it usually never affects the price too bad. Next up, we got some vintage Disney pieces. This is a vintage Disney Western shirt. I think I spent maybe $5 or $6 on this, and I usually don't pick up clothing that I'm not too familiar with, but I know vintage Disney is super hot right now. And this one sold for $35.99 plus $6 shipping. Like I said, it was a pretty clean shirt, but I knew it was going to take a little while to sell. Had this for maybe 3 months and it finally sold. Next up, we got this Nintendo DS Lite in this polar white color, and I included a game that I just kind of had sitting in my inventory, and I also had a replacement charger for this as well. There's pretty often times I'll come across like a Nintendo DS charger or even like a charger for the 3DS, and I always grab those up because of course you can pick it up on eBay for like 13 or 15 bucks, but if I can find it for like 2 or 3 bucks in the thrift store, I'd usually just grab it and hold on to it. And that's what I did with this one. Initially I had this up for 80 bucks, and then it, of course, like 30 days passed and I just dropped it by 5 bucks, and then the very next day it sold. So sold within about a month and some change, but still very solid sale, and I think I spent 20 bucks on the Nintendo DS. Next up is a really solid sale. Picked up this pair of Polo Ralph Lauren shoes with this like kilty strap on the top of it. Really clean. It did have some minor little flaws and some scuffs, but at the end of the day, all it needed was a quick shoe polish, and that's what this person most likely is going to be doing. But I ended up selling these for $152.99 plus $9 shipping. Once again, these were 10% off, and I was initially asking $170, and I probably, to be honest, I probably should not have even added this to the sale. This one kind of fell through the cracks, but it is what it is. I think I spent maybe 10 or 12 bucks on these shoes, maybe even less than that. I'll try to find the clip when I actually picked these up from the thrift, but I know I didn't even spend more than 20 bucks for these shoes. Next up is something that I had no clue what it was, but something made me just want to check the comps. This is actually a Lancer Opti Drive, and I'm thinking this is something for your car. Like I said, I don't really know what this was, but the comps were pretty strong. If this was actually working perfectly, I probably could have got maybe $150 for it, but I didn't know how to test this, so I just listed it as is, and it sold pretty quickly. Sold within about 2 to 3 weeks for 80 bucks plus $15 shipping. So definitely a really nice sale with this one, and I think I spent maybe 12 bucks on this, so definitely a very nice sale. Next up, we got this PS2 controller in this emerald green colorway, and I love selling these controllers because they usually always sell super quick, and this emerald green one always sells for at least 30 bucks. So I just listed it as that for 30 with free shipping, and I think I spent 4 or 5 bucks on this controller, so really quick sale. Next up, we got another one of those routers that I tell you guys all the time that I love picking up. This one was actually sitting in my inventory, and it was in a bin that was actually full of items that was already listed, but for some reason I just wanted to just double check and make sure that this item was listed, and to my surprise, I don't know if eBay took it down, or I don't know if it was just an error on my part, but this item was not listed, and it was probably not listed for well over a month. So definitely make sure that you guys are checking your storage systems and making sure everything that's tucked away is actually listed, because when I actually went ahead and listed this for 70 bucks plus $9 shipping, it sold the very next day. So I just basically had money sitting around unlisted, so very glad I was able to get this listed, and it sold super quick. Next up, we got some Canon ink, and I love selling these because they usually always sell for a decent amount of profit, and I usually pick these up for like 2 to 3 bucks. I think I spent 3 bucks a piece for these, and it sold for $44.99 with free shipping. And I probably could have even not added this to that 10% off sale as well, because this would have sold for 50 bucks all day long without being on sale, but it is what it is. Definitely a decent amount of profit, and I love selling ink because even if it's expired or the warranty's expired, it still sells. And last but certainly not least, the biggest sale of the week is this pair of Kobe AD2s. This was actually listed for 300 bucks, and I had these for well over a year at this point, probably going on 2 years, but I have a bunch of these still sitting in the inventory. And the good thing is I sold 2 of these back to back, and this one was actually a part of that 10% off sale. But the thing is, I was actually also accepting offers on this item. I think my cutoff point was no less than 200 bucks, and I got a solid offer at 225, and I just went ahead and accepted that. And these went through authentication, and of course it passed the authentication. I was kind of like questioning how it would be authenticated since these were promo samples, and there's no other shoe to compare it to. But of course it passed the authentication, and like I said, I sold another pair of these shoes like 2 days after, so definitely a very nice one. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also drop a comment, let me know which one of these was your favorite sale, which one stood out to you the most, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
For the winner, cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Move just to keep from cooling, like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold, and I'm too cool to sweat it. I should've never offered it. I'm tight and now I'm off this shit.